What's up, you guys? It's me, Matthew. Today I just kind of want to share my testimony. Music makes it better. It's a little touchy, but it's all good. But I want to share with you guys. Before I was born, my dad left, and he left my mom to just kind of take care of me, and it kind of hurt me when I found out about it. When I was 3, I kind of was talking to my mom, and I was just like, "Oh, where's my dad at? How come I don't have a dad? Like all these other kids have dads, and I'm just kind of here all by myself. I can't play catch by myself, and it's not the same with your mom, you know." So my mom gave my dad a call. My dad came down and he visited me, and he visited for 2 years. So I was 5, and just through all that, a lot of stuff happened. My mom and dad would always fight, and just like that, And when I was 3.5, just after he got here, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So yeah, I saw type 1 diabetes, and comment below, if you have that. I'll talk to you. But yeah, when all this was going down, my dad finally left because I found out he was using heroin, and it was a hard subject when I found out about it, but it was hard altogether. When I turned 6 or 7, my mom met a man named Robert Brown, and he was just your average douchebag, he beat me. I was abused. It was hard, yeah. It was hard to go through that, and he just he abused me physically until I was 8, 9, and then I ran away because I couldn't take it anymore. I was just tired of it. He was always just like, "Oh yeah, you're not my son," all this stuff. I remember one year on Christmas, I was like, "Merry Christmas, Dad," and he turned around and slapped me and told me, "I'm not your dad. What are you talking about? Get out of my face." And I was just like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And it was hard to deal with. Just as my story went on, CPS came in, and my mom told me, "Don't, just fight him. Don't tell him what's going on," because she didn't want my sister to go through what I went through with me losing my dad, and I didn't want my sister to go through that, and it was hard. And when I was about 13, he left. After another 3 or 4 years of abusing me, not physically but mentally, and it was just hard. He brought me down all the time, and it was really hard for me. And he just brought me down all the time. I remember feeling so bad. I remember going to church too, and church would always help me because I felt like I always had a family there. I always felt like, oh, these people love me, and I don't get that at home, and I don't get that with my stepdad and my mom. It was just a hard time for me, and I was depressed, and I was thinking about suicide and all this stuff. I was just like, God, if you were really there, how come I'm going through all this? And just facing all that, I could have changed a lot. I could have been a bad kid. I could have been those guys that are out there doing all kinds of stuff, just like smoking weed and being like YOLO, like all this stuff. But no, I didn't let it affect me. I let it affect me, but I let it affect me in a good way, to where I thought, I'm not going to be like that guy. So that guy was a douche, and I don't want to be a douche to my kids. Like, I want to make sure my kids are living a good life, and I made sure I'm an optimistic person, and I know that God made me that way for a reason. I know that the reasons that I went through it were because it was to make me stronger. It was that God has a big plan for me in the future, and that when I face that thing that He has in my plan, I'm gonna fly through it with flying colors. I'm just gonna be like, You know, that wasn't that hard because I went through it before. And you know, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a strong kid. Yeah, I am a strong kid. And really, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a man. I know a lot. I've went through enough to be a man. And I mean, there are people out there who are going through a lot, but the way that they're saying is like, oh, you know, my dad abused me. I don't give a crap about him, you know. I'm just gonna go smoke weed. I'm gonna go smoke cigarettes. I'm gonna go drink. Like, I could have went that way. I could have destroyed my body and said, oh, whatever. But, you know, I didn't. I made it to where, you know, I'm out here living my life for God. And, you know, just as my story goes on, my mom, not bad mouthing my mom or anything, but my mom, she was trying to find us a dad. And at the time I thought, oh, my mom, she's just, oh, who's this guy? Like, I didn't understand what was going on, but now, you know, I look at my mom and I'm just like, Mom, you did a lot for me. You were trying to find me a dad, and now I have a stepdad. His name's Eugene. He's a cool guy, and he takes care of us. And I mean, just as life goes on, you know, and I was just like, wow, why is this guy here? Why are these guys here? Like, but my mom really did take care of us. She gave us everything we needed and more. And I remember, though, is that we hit a really rough spot, and in that rough spot, we were going into, we just hit a really rough spot. We had 8 or 9 people living in our house, and at the same time, food stamps, and there was always so much stress on my mom, and there was always a lot of stress on me because I always wanted to make sure my mom was happy. I always make sure people are happy before I am. And, you know, pains made me stronger, but I remember thinking that my mom was just so weak, but really my mom is so strong. She had a daughter with autism and a son with diabetes, and I still have diabetes to this day, but you know, I can take care of it. And I've been taking care of it since I was 8. And my mom's always been there. And I mean, we had let's finish the story. We had 8 or 9 people living in the house all at the same time, and I was just so tired of everything. I always made sure everybody else had a bed, and if everybody filled up the bed and the couch, I would sleep on the floor. And I remember it just killed me. I just felt like, why am I being so nice? And it's because honestly I'm a nice person, and I could have been a jerk and said, no, you can sleep on the floor, you don't live here. But you know, I sacrificed my room and everything. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't do that. And I remember I would go days without eating. I would go days without eating anything, just so everybody else could eat. You know, it was hard for me. And my mom and her boyfriend and my little brother, Chessie, he's the whole reason I'm out here now. They all moved to Arkansas, and I stayed in San Diego. And I finished out my 8th grade year. And it was just hard for me. I mean, just being away from my mom, my little brother, and just, I stayed in church the whole time. The church really helped me out. There was always people who were loving on me, and they were just saying, oh, if you ever need anything, you come to me. And I never did, because I never felt like, oh, I deserve this. And I never felt like I deserved anything. I felt like the reason that everything was happening to me was for a reason, like, because I did something wrong. And like, I wish that I wouldn't have thought that way. And I mean, like, God really worked in my life throughout that situation. And I mean, I was just tired of all of it. And I just finished out my year, and I had a family who treated me like crap. And I just went back to living in the ghetto again, living in a poor house, in a poor home with no money, no food. Every day I went to school and I just didn't have any food. People would offer me food and I wouldn't eat it. And sometimes I get lunch, but it would cost me money, and I never had money, you know. And it was just hard for me. And I just kept going on, kept pushing forward. And I finally moved back into a nice house with my aunt, but she rode me like a dog. Like, she attacked me left and right. Do the dishes, clean the room, clean your room, clean the living room, vacuum, while her son sat on his butt all day, you know, lazy. And then she had the decency to call me lazy when, I didn't do anything. But, no, that was because I did everything before. But she wasn't there, and she just caught me laying on my butt. And, she called me lazy. She hurt my feelings. She hurt me. Mentally, she just made me feel like I wasn't worth anything again. Just like Rob. And just like a lot of other people. It's hard, but... Anyways, I moved to Arkansas last August. And it's been hard. It's been so hard living in a one bedroom. It's not even a bedroom with a kitchen and everything. It's a one bedroom in a motel room. And all you got is a sink and a bathroom, a bed. I sleep on the floor a lot. I don't eat a lot. It just keeps getting harder. Go to school. No friends. Nobody wants to be a friend with some lonely guy. Few acquaintances, a couple of people I talk to. No real friends. Nobody I can really trust. Thoughts of suicide and just taking the easy way out ran through my head, but that's not what God wanted me to do. It's selfish. People who commit suicide are selfish. Because they have a life that God wants them to live. And God wants me to live this life. And He has something planned for me in the future. Like I said, I'm a very optimistic guy. The worst things in life can happen to me. I'd stay strong. I'm staying strong now. And, I'm just living my life. Now I'm here in Arkansas. Living my life some more. That's my testimony, guys. Hope you guys like it. Short round covers with my testimony.